Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Eador Masters of the Broken Worlds with no fair fights. We have everything under control. We have good karma. We're going to end this shard now in a glorious assault. We can do that in quick combat, I guess, because they will not be able to stop us anyhow. Quick combat. Yes, you all die, I live. Hooray. The important part is... what is cost? 120. Boy, is that expensive. 80 for that armor isn't that overpriced as you might think, because I personally find it a lot better than this one, although you get an attack bonus and more defense and attack, but the point simply is you're getting resistance and no minus to movement. This is hilariously overpriced because 150 energy for an item that is not automatically giving you a golem, because you first need to build the building to get the golem, and that costs so much money that this ignorant is practically useless. 60 gold for that bow is rather high. 60 for this basilisk is as well far too high. Okay, that we give away, that we give away, that we give away, that we give away. Yeah. All too expensive. The only thing that is really good are these arrows for 10 energy, because they're cheap and they're really good. So that's the only thing we keep. The arrows. And of course this wonderful hero, because he's a real killer. He's nearly perfect. Some say I could have changed looting for something else, but I'm actually quite glad with it. Yeah, I absolutely want to take this hero to the next shard. Yes, sir. We get wonderful building. Wonderful building. Who needs that shit? Oh boy. No. 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 Actually, no. Actually, crap. But details. Post concerning the use of your image in advertisement. I've got your face is rather in demand. I like to hear that. Establishing one. Yes. Well, not too bad. I agree. You see another translucent scroll, a project of the key of truth in front of you. As if sensing your appearance, the scroll floats closer to you. Looks like the key of truth that you've gathered, somehow drawing the remaining ones closer to you. The writings on the manuscript come to your life, performing visions of Eador's distant past. You see before you. The whole of Eador is engulfed in a terrible war. Many cities of the ancients have been burnt to ashes. Those still standing are besieged by dark creatures. More and more of them pour through the wide open gates of chaos. Then a magician steps out from the demon-besieged citadel. Light shining from his hands bounds down the dark creatures who never lend their attempts to get to the mage. Wave after wave of demons assault this solitary figure and die before they can even reach him. For a long time this continues. The battle rages on for a long time. Over half of the chaos hordes perish at the magician's hands, yet the rest continue their onslaught. All across Eador the dark creatures are drawn to the wizard like moths to a flame. It seems like soon the whole army of chaos will be destroyed. But the magician's power are gradually exhausted, and the dark creatures finally manage to reach him. The wizard moves to the astral plane, and the battle continues there. Eventually, the demons manage to subdue him. They drag the weakened ancients into chaos, but something amazing happens at the borders of chaos. The magician disintegrates into a myriad of bright sparks, and each of them attempt to escape the demons. Demons manage to catch some of the sparks, but others are lost in the astral. The vision fades, and the lines written in elf language appear. I've given the previous key to Dariel to keep. If you are worthy of learning the truth, the key will be yours. If not, don't even try to obtain it. I think I'll be able to reach an agreement with Dariel. Oh, who are you? My accomplishment to 3 Onestras. Of the Illumined Wraith, the only left I am, the Ancients. Well, I think the other guy was the Ancients. The young folk calls us now. Aeons ago was Edu was named. I know it not for a better or for worse, but I've met 3 in the astral realm, yet since my hope is that you possess the wisdom to ignore power's lure and sacrifice thy strength of the astral lord to defense of the Eador entire. Are you really the last of the ancient? Uldugan is one of you too, isn't he? The traitor's name should not be uttered here. The one who has been denied the law and light. No longer does he know as one of us, the treacherous outcast who ever shamed to bring the ruin and destroy creation. The greatest himself has banished him. Who is the greatest one? The greatest one was the best among us. I think he talks about the mage. All secrets of creation did he know. He taught us knowledge and he taught us art. A sage he was, unrivaled in his magic. Alone he did destroy an evil host that lay siege on the tower of Alu. Alas, most tragic his fate was. The chaos did he perish. He fought the hordes of the beast and the darkness to protect the final of our cities from destruction. What are you calling the creation? Creation is our name for Eador. Out of chaos crafted it. It has been a mighty shaper, skillful, steady hand. Are you trying to say Uldagan is going to destroy Eador? I do not know what his intentions are, but certain be no good shall come from it. Destruction of the world is on his mind, or harm it in the way he may. No wonder demons serve him as a lord, for Uldagan has chaos sworn to himself. Oh, the holy crap. That is bad. I'm no fond of Uldagan myself, but say he's a minion of chaos, that's too much. Believe me, that no lies I speak to thee. It hurts so much to think that the cataclysm hadn't spared no one but filthy Uldagan. I know for sure a reason there must be. The traitor ought to know what's to be outcome for disaster he prepared himself. How did you survive yourself? That's a very good question. In Astral I did spend the darkest day, and a pesty not uncommon for his mages. The cataclysm was shattered the mortal world and destroyed my flesh in the twinkling of an eye. My spirit has nowhere to wander back, so I remained in the astral for all time. Well, you're a refugee. And luckily my knowledge was enough to perish not, to keep essence of mine. My strength I gathered, then a spell I cast to tie my flesh and spirit to a shard that floated to the depth of the astral void. Why are you so sure that Uldagan couldn't have survived the same way? The traitor was no sorcerer at all, but an engineer, a creator of machines. That's the reason he wants the parts. So that he might survive. He had to craft a mechanism and power to withstand the flames of chaos and protect himself. So Uldagan had something to do with the cataclysm. The message of chaos must have warned the traitor of the coming cataclysm. Mayhap he had hand in it himself. And once disaster struck, did he repent? Another game of danger he now plays. A creation a great menace is. Oh boy. We have a world of magic. A large world of magic. We get a pikeman, not that we need one. This is average. Town Hall Network, Mechanics Guild, Crossbowman. Let's talk to him. I think he likes us. You have one of the keys of truth, don't you? True. Lanadol himself left it for me to keep. Since then I have been crashing his artifact as the last memory of our greater good. What do you want in exchange for the key? Nothing can replace the memory of my beloved God. I don't think you would be able to offer me anything that would make part with to the key of truth. But Leonard wanted you to give the key to me. How do you know that? The thing is that. You see, I gathered the 5 keys. The last one was created by Leandor. That's how I know you must have the key. The keys have been created to serve as a memorabilia. They are the knowledge that can be used to fight chaos. Now the time has come to use that knowledge, and it was your God's plan. Finish explaining. But why were you entrusted with this mission? Why didn't Leandor choose one of the elves to gather the keys? He knew full that when any of us are willing to sacrifice ourselves to fulfill his will, he doesn't need sacrifices, he needs people to get the job done. Oh, that's a hard choice. Leandor has the gift of foresight. Most likely he knew that it was destined to gather the keys of truth. Good, I will give you the key, and since I sincerely hope that Leandor was not mistaken about you, don't let him down, or you let us all down. After your conversation with Dariel, a translucent manuscript appears in front of you, out of nowhere. Before you can do anything, the sun symbols covering the preachment flare with magical fire, turning into a vision of Eador's distant past. You see a world of the ancients, tall towers of bizarre architecture, white stone places displacing an array of statues and columns, fountains and artificial waterfalls right in the middle of cities. An abundant flowers and trees surrounds virtually every building. In nighttime enchants the beauty of the ancient towns, with their street bright lit by a myriad of multicolored glittering lights. The cities look like sparkling magical gems in the mist of darkness. Indeed, this race exceeds all lost living today. Even the elves don't have cities of such beauty. It seems the ancients have no paupers and no laborers. All of their dirty work was done by strange mechanical creatures. Dwarven inventors could not dream of making such amazing machines. The air tickles with magic of the ancients forgotten long ago. The skills of modern sorcerers are nothing but a miserable shadow of the magical powers of the first race possessed. But the ancients' peaceful life was suddenly interrupted. More and more of the spawns of chaos invading their cities, sowing death and destruction. The ancients are forced to apply their skills and knowledge to warfare. Devastating spells, mechanical warriors, and magically created creatures are used to defend the cities of the ancient reigns. This stopped the dark creatures for a while, but chaos does not give up. New creatures are being created in the underworld, creatures capable of breaching the ancients' defenses, destroying their cities and the world itself. The visions of the past are replaced with elven writers. Nestus helped me create this key, for which I am generally grateful. He enabled me to look at the ancient world with my own eyes. What I have put into this key is just a small portion of the wonders of the ancients that I was lucky to see. The first key is kept by the first dragon. I can imagine a guard more reliable. Oh boy, that's trouble. I bet that dragon is pretty big. I helped him? How the hell was that? I helped that guy. Well, I don't remember anything, so how could I know? The 7 key, I think that's the last one. I hope I can find this ancient. Looked like one of the key was pretty sure of himself. A dragon. Pooh. That sounds like a lot of troubles. What do you know about Eador? Ah, the ancient guy from long ago for days, who only speaks in clumpy verses. At times, a web flowery sentences he spins waves of his ancient tongue amazes me. Even the humble servant. Yet, as you know, well as much as any, in arts of fabric I have no equal. Yeah. Frankly speaking, I don't know much about him, boss. I did enjoy that Croc's pompous speeches in the least. That monotonous old style of his makes me depressed, as I've hardly ever communicated with him. I heard rumors that Eador is obsessed with the idea of destroying his race. He's supposedly searching for an artifact that would be able to do so. However, I don't know if there's any truth behind these rumors. They don't come from a reliable source, as they say. Little Sterin told me. I don't think that you know anymore. Do you know something about Eador? He's truly worthy of respect, one of the last surviving ancients. Eador hasn't lost the hope of destroying his race. In addition, Eador is constantly searching for new ways of protection against chaos. When I first met him, I was overcome with some great sorrow when I learned that Eador has lost such a great race at the ancients. I sincerely wish the best of luck in restoring his people, but there's very little hope he will succeed. Well, there's actually no hope. So, you are Don't you hate the guy? It's pathetic. For all the time he has passed, Eador hasn't learned to speak properly. He's constantly mumbling in arachnic phrases. In his mention, they're filled with meaning. It's hard to believe that, according to his stories, Eador used to be a powerful mage once. I think he's long overdue to join his fellow. Ooh boy, he wants to seem dead. You? Poor Eador, I'm sorry for him. It's horrible when your people perish once. I'm glad that he didn't disappear and did not despond. Even better, he's looking forward to restore the race of the ancients. I sincerely wish him his best. Let me guess, you know nothing. I cannot talk to myself, because that would make no sense. Don't think he knows anything. What do you know about Eador? He's the last of the ancients, I know that. A worthy representative of his race. One of the few wise enough to realize the great battle is approaching and start preparing for it. I also know that Eador hates Uldagan with his heart, which is rather strange, for Uldagan is also one of the ancients. I believe that when your whole race perishes, you would welcome any survivor as your own brother. Well, depends on who he is. You! Little Squim. What do you know about Eador? Eador, that ridiculous anachronism. He used to be a mage once, not the most powerful mage, but at least not the least powerful either. Now he's nothing but a pathetic shadow of what he once was. He hasn't even learned to speak properly. In his obsession with the true speech, he doesn't realize by trying to express it with modern tongue, he only befalls our mother language. It shows that Eador as he really is. He's a personite of a yearning of the past. He's afraid to admit that the past cannot be restored. Why do you hate Eador so much? He's an idiot and claimed for blaming for all the troubles that came upon Eador. Mages and mechanics never were too fond of each other, but in Eador's case, this dislike was grown into a foolhardy paranoia. I can only imagine that he was told you about me. I see. Okay, I'm not talking to you. Ancient, honest, and honorable. I'm sure he can be trusted. Well, you're a man of few words. I like that. Oh boy, you have a lot to talk. He's an emperor of the humankind. A stern, but just, I do believe. Okay, Eador? Young Eador, son of Palance, he does indeed remind me of my race, a lust of knowledge and a temper kind, a taste of mystery Palashard. Of course, a lot of human is in him, yet ill and industry I see as well. Beleth? A worthless man, all cunning, no shame. Respect for him I never had at all. You sound like Yoda. Not even worthy of a contempt he is. A worm is better decency than him. Oh boy. Vianta? The ruler of the furnace creature is tiny. Vianta is a good-spirited and fair. I only commend her utmost care about the face of the mortals on the shards and everything that dwells within creation. Her is almost nothing I may tell. Of flows the astral was born, and that is all of him I understand. What are the flows of the astral? Could it be that you never heard of them, for the astral is with energies filled, composed of many flows that twist and turn. They steam through the essence of the world, creating very laws of time and space, which govern all the life of Eador. And is this oh God is willing, Emanation's child. Okay, Dariel? The Elven King is wise, just and fair, and chaos he allows with all his heart. For the battle with chaos born did perish the creator of the gods. Okay, they killed his guy. Eador's defenses. The chaos adversary to all, and all we done, the forges of the world who shape the realms of the shattered shards are guarding protection Eador. Thou must have heard from Dariel of the final greatest battle yet have to come, when all of us shall firmly rise as one to stop the chaos spawn forever. Yet there is a subtle path for us to win, a dreaded confirmation to avoid and seal the evils outside creation. And how can we stop the chaos? The Ilians work to build the talisman, an artifact to keep the beasts at bay and fortify the borders of creation. Alas, the cataclysm was doomed this work, for all creating was once did perish. I was the only one who had survived. My knowledge of the talisman is safe, but the artifacts of power, such as this more to be much for all my eager strength. And thus assistance I need for this, delivering the elements I used. Okay. Why did you not collect them in advance? Alas, the time is short. The talisman shall not need many efforts to complete, unless I shall begin to work at once. The dreadful battle surely comes to pass before the talisman is even ready. Some elements are yet unknown to me, and the process may reveal itself, for Eador itself is never charging, and changing the talisman as well to stay attuned of the universe entire. Indeed, a voice of honor I hear. My gratitude to thee for offer such, but still before creation shall begin, the greater danger is to be removed. Destroy the world of filthy Uldagan with the evil shames he ever plans. You use me to get rid of your enemies. The shame of our race this creator is, the chaos he should sold his evil soul, slow servant long he had become. I know not what shames he betrays news, but deeds of most full well within his grasp. The deeds of threatens whole Eador. Well, it's really hard to read. It's not my mother language, and he's making no sense with the first gap. Okay. It warms my heart to hear these words of thine, and yet I have to ask you another thing. The world he create must burn to ash, so the device he builds can be built no more. The device is nothing but destruction things. Had it ever occurred to you to use that weapon? Whenever the betrayer does create the endgame, the existence of the world, no good would come from the machine constructed by the traitor of Uldagan, as the force of darkness hides in the device, and using it would be a great mistake. Alright. Do you know anything more? The cataclysm, a powerful explosion that had shattered the world in one soul into countless shards. The last alien stronghold, besieged by demons, was very close to the disaster's center. Thus, none of our people had survived that dreadful day which sundered Eador. About yourself? My history is not exciting much. Enchanter of the Conclave I have been when the house of mine cataclysm was restored, along with all my friends and my own flesh. All that remains is my immortal soul, which I did tie to the shards in the astral. Thus I've become a master, one of those who forged the worlds, protecting Eador from the reach of chaos, hungry to devour all existence where the order fades. You mean you're creating your own world to protect Eador from chaos? Then why not surrender the shards over to masters instead of fighting over them? There is still hope, still dwelling in my soul, to bring the alien pack people back to life. Among the shards, I ever looked for clues that would assist me in revive my race. Alas, thus far my searching has for a note. So he didn't find anything. I speak this way, for our language is. The simplest alien's words become a song so beautiful that are too sweet to hear. I do not presume to ask me to change the way I speak, for the greatest one himself did teach me how to speak, and I preserve his memory for more. I only wish that you could understand where I talk to thee in alien speech. The way I speak to thee is but a shade of singing verses that my mother tongue would give birth to my very spoken word. Okay, you can talk as you like, I don't care. Okay, we get a crossbowman and cheaper resources. We get roads. Increase every province. Oh, that's quite nice. Roads are good. Or we have this. This is a large world, so there will be a lot of people there. But it's 17 energy. And we have the chance to find the dragon there, so for the dragon we hope. Woohoo! The longer you watch the life on this shard, the stranger it looks. Instead of birds, some kind of tiny fairies fly in the skies. Every nook of the cranny has become home to some weird creatures that clearly possess of magic abilities. Inexplainable incidents happen here and there, and from all kinds of objects appearing out of nowhere, your subjects disappearing into air. The air itself is crackling with magic and sorcery. Your wizards report that the ionosphere of this shard is beneficial to spellcasting and magical research, though the cost of constructing magical building is significantly decreased, as is creating incrensions. Okay, not bad. Here we are. The first thing we need is... what are we up against? Against 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Oh boy. And this shard is... you're kidding me. This shard is huge. No question. Big one. Okay. There's very little income for us. That's sad. First thing we need is, of course, a trustworthy bow. Hooray! So, could instantly killing people, but I think we need first to get ourselves some stuff on the ground. So, I'll stop it here and we'll see each other next time. Until then, bye!